Science said it couldn't be done. Science said that it was impossible for a human being to play many Stickworld Legacy ripoffs at once, enough to make a whole tier list out of them. Science said it wasn't possible, that it's literally harmful for a human's health to play even one Stickworld Legacy ripoff for an extended period of time. Today, I have defied science. Not to say that this hasn't left its mark, though. I feel like I could just... I don't know. I feel like I could just dunk my head into a bucket of bleach, and that would be less painful than what I have endured playing these ripoffs. So I'm going to be putting all of these ripoff games onto a tier list. Now, I'm going to make one thing clear. Every Stickworld Legacy ripoff out there is trash, hot garbage, disgusting. All of these would be getting an F tier. Well, not in this tier list, but globally, overall, all trash. But I want to gauge which Legacy ripoff is worse than the other, and which one is mostly tolerable. That's what we're going to be doing today. So let's first kick off this tier list by reviewing Stickman War Battle by Senspark. Now, I featured this game in plenty of videos in the past, and it was terrible then, and I can say with a high degree of certainty after playing it once again that the game is just as bad. For one, the AI of these units is terrible, and I believe it was terrible back when the game was in its early beta days. And it's even difficult to describe the way it works, but sometimes they'll just completely ignore each other and just run to a different position on the map, stand there, maybe attack a unit, and then run and do the same thing. And it's even worse here, because the swords are trying to attack the castle archers when they clearly can't, so they act like idiots and they keep running to the enemy castle gates, getting killed by the castle archers, and the same thing with rinse and repeat. So this ended up forcing me to have to wait until I build up a big army of swords to attack the statue. And you guys know me. You guys know how I react when I play ripoffs. I have no patience for them, and I want to literally just snap my fingers and move on to the next level. But I couldn't do that here, especially considering they get 4 castle archers despite having not enough units for that. At least I didn't think. So I ended up having to build up a big army of swords while attacking over and over to try and stop them from getting a big army, and it took a long time. And that's one of the biggest things I hate about ripoff games, when I have to spend a long time building a huge army because of some stupid mechanic like the awful unit AI in this game. And one of the other things that annoyed me was the random red flashes on the screen every time I tapped my defend button, and you've seen them quite a few times already. That got on my freaking nerves, and it was really annoying to deal with. So here we go. I'm finally attacking them with 27 swords. You really didn't need this many, but because how awful the AI is in this game, I had to do that. And this game still retains the stupid as hell feature where you had to pay 100 coins to play the levels. I can't think of anything more stupid than that. Like, if you're gonna throw in some bullcrap mechanic like that or feature, at least make it worth spending 100 coins to play this. The fact you have to play the levels, the fact you have to pay coins to play these levels is a massive scam. And here we go, once again, these stupid swords being idiots and running at the castle archers when they clearly can't attack them. Luckily, I had enough to just barely destroy the statue there. Then it asked me, would you like to rate this game? Of course, I wanted to rate it at negative stars, but it wasn't possible. So now we go to the defense mode, and there's nothing to it. I played this in the past. You face the same army for like 3 or 4 waves, and it's super underwhelming, at least for the beginning ambush levels. Later on, they get worse. Way worse. If Senspark didn't change anything about this game from the last time I played this, which I imagine they did, it still is completely dog crap, then I imagine the later ambush levels are still as horrible. And that's pretty much about it with this game. Nothing's changed about it. It's still disgusting. It's still awful. The unit AI is trash. And that's pretty much all I have to say about it. Alright, let's tier list this bad boy. I'm going to be giving Spark's game a D tier. The unit AI is terrible. The level design is bad. It's literally just either dual mode, destroy the enemy statue, or survive the enemy's counterattack, ambush, whatever. There really isn't anything special to the game. It's a complete and utter joke, a complete travesty, worthless pile of trash that's been on the Play Store for way too long, and unfortunately has a massive success. The amount of downloads this game has is atrocious, but it's still bad, so D tier. Next up, we have Stickman War Stick Fight Army by Pearcast Studio. I don't think I played this game before, but I can definitely say that this one is also terrible. I mean, well, they're all terrible. All the ripoffs I played are just complete hot trash. But as far as gauging which ones are worse than the other, I would definitely say this one is worse than Spark's game that I played before. So the units in this game look just straight up ugly. The running animation, the weird ass cheering animation, all of it is just pretty bad. Now, fortunately, this game does not contain the feature where you had to pay 100 coins to play the levels. I'm glad they don't have that. And they have a 2x speed button, which I did appreciate. So those are two things that give it a 1-up over Spark. Oh, and there's the unit AI is a little bit more tolerable in this, where they don't just run around like they're freaking Rip Riders and do stupid stuff. But other than that, the type of campaign is not as you would normally expect with a Stick War Legacy ripoff. For one, units can be summoned from portals, which is weird, but whatever. And units also train like the second you click on the button, so you can kind of just spam units pretty fast and just get them rolling out, which is good. The cast selectors are ridiculously freaking broken. They do 60 damage to every unit type. It doesn't matter what it is. It's 60 damage to every unit type. And they can summon them even when they are not in the garrison, which proved to be a difficult situation. Now this level was a little bit weird because the enemy units function kind of the same way that the undead skinned units from Stick War Legacy perform, where when you kill them, you summon an undead version of that unit, and you're going to see that in a minute here. So here's another instance where they give me 2 free Magi Kill, and the Magi Kill in this game have a ranged attack where they just shoot fireballs, which helped me to just practically speed run through this. But I know it's hard to tell because everything's playing at the speed of sound, but when we killed those enemy units, they also reincarnate into deads. Not strong deads, but just your run-of-the-mill deads, which really wasn't all that special. Like I said, my patience levels are non-existent when it comes to these ripoffs. I am trying to just breeze through them so I can get to the next level and see how bad it is. So I played all the way up to level 5, which I noticed was a boss level. And checking out this upgrade screen, it really wasn't anything too much. You spend coins to upgrade, and that's about it. Now, what I did appreciate about this is you can upgrade something and you'll have it. You won't have to wait for a certain amount of time to go by before you can get it. It's just the upgrades are kind of expensive. So the upgrade section in this game isn't entirely like 100% cringy. And then the skins are stupidly overpriced, and you could not pay me to even try and grind for these. So that's about as far as it goes there. So here we are in this level 5, where you get this big ass boss, and the Sentinel boss to be exact. And I mean, from here it was just build up a decent armor. They didn't even attack me despite having that pretty menacing looking guy right there. I just built up a standard spiritual setup, got a full max economy, and when I attacked, they gave me 2 free giants to help out. So that's about as far as I went in terms of this. So is the campaign terrible? Well, from what I played, it's tolerable for the most part. Like I said, the cast launchers are stupidly broken, so you need tanky units to be able to get to them. But that's about it. I mean, the boss is unique, but I only played enough to get to this one boss. So here we go. I got my 2 free giants. The giants, I will say, are ugly, especially the corpses they're dragging behind. They just look so fat and out of proportion. Just a minor annoyance there. So yeah, the way this boss attacks is unique. He throws his axe around in a circle, and I think he also regenerates health. But that was as far as it got. He wasn't strong enough to punch through these Spiritans and was only able to kill one of these giants I had. If anything, the units that were giving me the most trouble wasn't even the boss himself, it was the Spiritans, because the Spiritans were just stupid tanky against my archers, and when they die, they reincarnate into a dead, which tanks even more and just stalls out. So that was pretty much the only minor annoyance. But like I said, after this level, I really didn't play any farther. It was just, hey, checked it out, and it was good enough. Alright, time to rate. I'm going to take this game, and I'm going to give it a D tier right alongside Senspark. Like I said, the only 2 things, or 3 things I would say, that make it one-up Senspark is there's no pay-to-play feature, there's a 2x speed button, and the unit AI is tolerable. But other than that, the units are hideous and it's just boring. So yeah, there you go, D tier. Next we have Stick World Legacy Offline by Del Val STL? What? There is absolutely nothing special about this game. It opens up asking me if I want to get random ads or personalized ads, to which I told it to go eat a pile of dirt because I didn't care. I didn't want ads in the first place because I had on airplane mode. I had on airplane mode for like all of these legacy games that I played except for one, because one of them actually required an internet connection for me to check out the different game mode, which was just their excuse of wanting to be able to throw ads at me, which is really aggravating. But I only spent like 2 minutes playing this game because, as you can see, there was no effort put into this ripoff. They literally just took a previous old version of Stick World Legacy and slapped on their own user interface in terms of like the main menu and the skin shop. Other than that, there is nothing, and I mean nothing, unique about this ripoff or anything like that, except for one thing. It was for some reason hard to scroll the damn screen to view the enemy base. I don't know why that was the case, but as you can see, the attack button is missing entirely, and the block button is just, like I said, this is a blatant just, we want money, we want to capitalize some legacy success, so we're going to put the bare minimum effort, just grab an old version of Legacy and slap our own paywall onto it. And the damage numbers are converted to these weird characters, which I'm assuming are in another language, and I didn't really bother to care about what those could have meant. So yeah, that was it. I literally didn't go any farther than the Archidon level because there really was no point. Oh, and I still got an ad thrown at me despite having it on airplane mode. That happened with a couple of these games, which caused recording crashes, by the way. So extra fun making this. And so yeah, that's literally it. I realized that I wasn't going to get anything like unique about this ripoff, except, you know, they put their own buttons in here, and that's literally it. So yeah, I had nothing else to say other than F tier. Ripoff that's no uniqueness, no effort whatsoever, just hey, we want money, so let's just steal a version of Legacy and slap our paywall crap on it. So yep, F tier. Next we have Stickman War Clash of Stick by Rainbow 5S. So this game opens up with one of the most hideous cover art photos of all time, and then takes us to this obviously epic looking main menu here, where we have our Spiriton fellow with a fire spear and his eyes so disproportionate, they look so bad that I wanted to just scream. So here we go. I wanted to check out these other modes here, but Both of them require an internet connection to work, as I said before, and that was literally their excuse to throw ads at me, where if you want to play these two game modes, you have to let us throw ads in your face. So I eventually did give in. At first I was like, no, I'm not doing it, but eventually I decided to do it. So moving on to the campaign here, there really isn't a whole lot for me to say about it, other than these units are stupid tanky. Like, even your low health units, your miners, your swords, your archers, they are tanky. So tanky, in fact, that the castle archers, which are okay in this, they struggle against even like 4 swords because of the sheer amount of HP that they have. So I was able to defeat the first level of this pretty easily because of how weak the castle archers were, and also the fact that it was level 1. So this game did not have a pay-to-play feature, but it also did not have 2x speed, which I found to be pretty depressing, especially for the boss mode, the boss game mode thing, which I did check out, and it was utterly demoralizing because of how I had to sit there and build up an entire army to full just so I could stand a chance against the reinforcements that came out, because my castle just could not handle how tanky they were. And you can see it here. Like, that sword fight, this fight between those swords took such a long time because of how tanky they are. And I knew I didn't have to go anywhere here because the castle archers are going to struggle so bad to kill even one sword. So I was able to breeze through this. Unlocked archers, which turned out to be kind of tanky as well, although it was mainly the damn swords. And here's an example where it was just really bad here. Like, I think I almost lost this because, again, how tanky these freaking units are. So I lose this exchange because I don't have enough swords. So here we go. 4 swords. I have 3 castle archers. Look at how much they struggle to kill these. These guys have Spearton levels of HP. And the funny thing is, this is the only ambush wave you faced. I won after this. That was it. That was the ambush. And the fact that we almost lost to that goes to show how overpowered these units are in terms of levels of health. And so, I mean, yeah, that's kind of it about the campaign. There really isn't a whole lot much more to say about it other than the units are ridiculously tanky. So I'm going to show you the zombie survival mode and the boss killing mode, whatever you call that thing. Alright, and here we are. This is the boss whatever mode. I kid you not, I built up this strong of an army when I had killed off their miners and their swords like 5 to 7 minutes ago when I played this. And it was just so I could fight off this reinforcement wave. Otherwise, I would have lost because the castle archers would not have killed all this. Everything is too tanky in this game. So we killed all this after me spending such a long time building all of it up. And here we go. I destroyed the statue and we summoned this big bad boss. Oh, look at him. Doesn't he look so cool? I bet he does. So this turned out to be the most disappointing boss fight of my entire life because I attacked it. He hit us once with his little hammer there, and he did a lot of AoE damage, but guess what happened after that? He got fucking annihilated. Okay, so funny story. I thought I didn't record footage of me playing the zombie survival mode, but turns out I did. I just didn't name the clip correctly. So here it is, the one clip I played of this Endless Deaths mode. And looking at these zombies, they look absolutely terrible. Their eyes are oversized and just look straight up hideous. They are just ugly. And yeah, I know, deads are not supposed to be pretty. They're supposed to look, you know, ugly and stuff. But there's something about these deads that just make me cringe really hard. I don't know. But yeah, fighting these guys, they also turn out to be insanely tanky. And they overwhelmed all of my swords. I do think I killed all of these zombies, but I literally decided to not even play after that, given how hideous these things look. They look atrocious. They just look bad. So yeah, and look at the background here. I'm sure that background looks really high definition. It is well in tune with this. And I almost want to say that that sun in the center, it looks like it was taken straight from Stickman Legacy, but I could be wrong. I don't know what the process is in terms of backgrounds for mobile game development, but it looks like it was taken from Legacy. I mean, hell, it might as well have been. This is literally a ripoff of Legacy. So here we go. I got over one of my garrison, get my castle archers out. Now obviously my castle archers are going to struggle here, but again, I do think they were able to kill all of this because of how slow the deads were. But like I said, after that, I didn't play any farther because this was just... This was completely boring, and again, the zombies look hideous. Alright, I'm going to give this game an F tier. The over-tankiness of the units combined with the hideous look of the zombies in this death mode just make me hate it even more than SinSpark and that other piece of crap game that's sitting in the D tier right next to it. I already forgot the name and I don't care to remember it. But that game is going to go into the F tier with Stickman Legacy Online. Simply again, I've already said why. I'm not repeating myself. Next up, we have War of Stick Conquer Battle in beta by MGIF. Now, I will say in terms of this game, out of all the rip-offs I played, this was probably one of the most tame and not entirely like infuriating rip-off games that I've played. It's pretty, I don't know, the campaign is, you know, what you expect for the early levels. There's nothing like unique about it or ridiculously overkill and stupid. This game doesn't require a pay to play feature, and it also has 2x speed, which I grew to also like. So with that being said, I decided to skip playing the rest of the campaign and instead go to their endless mode, which I was able to unlock. It was locked when I first started. I had to play through a couple levels to get it. So here is their endless death mode. Now, one thing I didn't like that got on my nerves was this stupid, ugly, annoying ass dragon that kept flying across the screen carrying that chest that you see has a play button attached to it. I'm sure you know what that means. If I want that amazing looking chest, I have to watch an ad, which I was not going to do. So here are these deads, which, you know, they look like your standard run-of-the-mill deads. Now, this game mode is really weird. For one, you can't attack. You can only defend and garrison. So your method of defending yourself, you can't use to control anything in this game. So all you can do is just spam units and hope for the best. You do have a barricade here that the deads attack, and you have to stop them pretty much by spamming enough units to distract their attention away from the wall into your units instead. And at first, I was thinking, you know, this might not be too bad, because normally, if you don't usually control an archer in Night 1 and Endless Deaths for the original game, you get overwhelmed pretty quickly. You can't really unit spam your way into killing Night 1. There are just too many deads and your units are too weak. But that wasn't the case for this. However, there is still one thing that I do not like about this game mode that was really stupid. So I'm going to talk about this. When you get to this screen, your survivors, it obviously shows the units that you were able to save from the last night. And there were these two buttons that confused me. Save all and save half. So it turns out, this is really stupid. It turns out, if you have to choose to either save all the survivors or only save half. And if you click on save all, you're required to watch an ad to save all of your units. Otherwise, you only get half of this. So you don't get all of the units from the previous night. You have to save, you're forced to either save half of them or watch a stupid ad to save all of them. That pissed me off because it just threw me into situations where my army wasn't strong enough to fight off the dead waves at some points. And it was just horrible. So see that? I tried to click on save all and I couldn't do it. It told me no video was available, and that was because I had my phone in airplane mode. I was not going to turn on the internet to watch a stupid ad because the ads tend to crack my recording software. Now, these form of deads, which are I guess are supposed to be the counterparts of Pouncer Deads, aren't even that threatening. They run fast, but that's about it. There's no stun attack to them, and that's really it. They just kind of slap you. And it's freaking weird, their running animation, because it seems more like they're running up because they see their favorite celebrity on the stage and they're running to get their autograph taken or get a picture with them or something. They hardly look like threatening zombies is what I'm trying to get at here. So I just 2x sped right through it to pass through the entire night. Alright, so I'm not going to show too much more of this. I'm going to skip to the night that I lost. So, again, stupid ass dragon flying across the screen. I wanted to shoot him down, and unfortunately that wasn't an option. So these were one of the dead types that I was facing, and another new one shows up, which throws bones at you. It's supposed to be the counterpart of the toxic dead. Instead of throwing, toxic guts, it throws bones at you. Actually, was this the night that I faced him in? Because so far I'm only facing these spam of these deads. Okay, so I didn't skip close enough in the clip. I survived this night because all I got were those things. The night that I lost on was the next night where I faced these weird bone throwing deads. They looked like enslaved giants because they carried a bag. It was literally just a bag full of bones that they threw at you. And so I was only able to save 8 sword rats here. I couldn't save all 16 without watching a stupid ad, so that threw me into a deficit right away. And you constantly have to spend 1,000 coins to continuously replenish the wall that you have. And if that barricade breaks, you're pretty much screwed because, again, you can't attack. You can't gain any advantage here with that. So these deads are now throwing these bones at my barricade and hitting my swords. And guess what? I can't even send the swords out to engage them because there's no attack button. So all they're going to do is sit there, run out, take damage, and die, and I can't do a thing about it. They do kill one dead that got too close, but aside from that, it was literally it. So the deads get to throw their bones at my barricade and destroy it for free. And did I mass garrison here? No, I did not. I thought I could fight all this. No, okay, never mind. Turns out I didn't die on this night either. Yeah, it was the next night that I died. At least I think so. I don't know. My brain is still trying to recover from having to play 8 ripoffs. So you have to bear with me here because I am not functioning properly at the moment. And turns out, when you spend 1,000 coins, you don't get to fully replenish the barricade. As you can see, it's still damaged. You pay 1,000 coins to replenish a portion of your barricade's health. And if it happens to have a high enough health level, then you won't have to worry about your barricade remaining chipped. It would be restored to full health, but in this case it wasn't. So I wasted 1,000 coins right there. My cast legends were not going to kill all this, so I was forced to send out the meager army I had left. All my miners died because I obviously can't garrison them without garrisoning my archers too, and you would think that we lost here, and we did, but it wasn't in this manner. My archers actually managed to kill all these deads. The way I lost this was so stupid. So we killed all this, right? But then I got confused because stupid pop-up, to watch an ad to get some bullcrap that I didn't want. We killed all these deads, but my statue was still taking damage. I didn't understand why at first, until you saw that dead out there. He is still somehow able to throw his bones past my archers and hit the statue. And I can't send the archers after him because there's no attack button. There's no way for me to get that dead to move. So these dumbass archers just stood here doing nothing until that single dead threw his bones and destroyed my statue. By far the stupidest thing I have ever encountered in this game. Now, despite that obviously stupid encounter with the Endless Deads game mode, I'm actually not going to give it a D or an F tier. I'm going to give it a C tier because, again, it's still bad. It's still an awful ripoff game, but it's more of the tame ones. I didn't feel as infuriated as I did playing the other ripoffs. So this is probably the only game that's going to get the highest spot on the tier list. Nothing on this tier list is going to get a B, A, or an S tier. Those tiers are there for decoration. None of these games are going to take it. And while I'm here, I'm just going to go ahead and take this and drop it in the Turbo F tier. Alright, let's move on. Next up, we have Stickman Arena, Early Access by iStar Technology Investment Co. Ltd. This game was boring as hell. There is an endless deaths mode, but I didn't check it out because I had to have airplane mode off. This game infuriated me. First of all, the miners, as you notice, they are different. They are now rolling a wheelbarrow in front of them, which I didn't care about until, watch this. So the miner, they added this stupid animation where the miner walks up to the gold mine, has to waste time setting the fucking wheelbarrow down and then walking to get gold. Why can't the miner just get gold? Why do they put in this animation where they set the wheelbarrow down before they start working? That's an unnecessary time waster. And then the unit animations were really janked up in this. So holding down the block button just locks the unit in a idle pose that just looks goofy as hell. And I was able to juke the castle archer out and just cheese the statue like this. But I didn't spend a whole lot of time playing this game because it was just awful. I wanted to check out the endless deaths mode, but again, I couldn't because it kept throwing ads that crashed my recording software. So I had to continuously have airplane mode on. And I think without an internet connection, you can't play that game mode. I just didn't want to risk it. So actually, no, I think I'm thinking of something else. My brain is frazzled, guys. Bear with me here. I think I did play the endless mode. I think I did. Did I? I don't remember. I can't remember. I am rotting here. I do not remember. Did I play the... Let me just... See, here we go. It threw an ad at me despite being in airplane mode. No, I had airplane mode on. See, you can see the icon right there. Airplane mode. I had it on, and it still threw ads at me. So yeah, I was right. I was freaking right. I was right. I thought I was losing it here, and that I didn't play the game mode. Turns out I didn't play it because the ads kept crashing the recording software. So yeah, I did not freaking bother. See, I knew I wasn't going crazy. This game's gonna get a nice home in the Mega F tier. And it's simply because of the intrusive ads that kept crashing that recording software. Over and over and over, they just kept popping up at every single possible chance. There is still one game that was even worse than this in terms of intrusive pop-ups. But this one was still just disgusting on every aspect. So yeah, Mega F tier. Piece of shit. Next up, we have Stickman War Stick Battle Early Access by Gsoft Studio. Alright, so this game has 3 game modes. I tried to go right to the tournament mode, but apparently I had to pass level 3 in order to get it, which was pretty annoying. I won't even lie to you, that was just stupid. So I had to play through these first 3 levels. But it turns out they weren't that bad. Units spawn from portals, which is, again, weird, but whatever. And the statue. I thought that this was like, you know, the kind of statue where you would drain the health and then the boss would spawn. Because the name of this level literally said destroy the king, which I would assume to be this, you know, animated, alive looking unit that represents the statue. But it turns out this thing isn't even alive. Even though it's moving, it's not alive because I destroyed the statue in level 1 and I thought maybe it was going to shoot that fireball looking energy beam at me, energy ball, and it just didn't do it. When I depleted its health, it just, you know, fell into the ground, still doing that same pose. But yeah, other than that, I have even less to say about this campaign. It's literally they just took a previous version of Legacy, but at the very least, they put in effort to make it seem like their own game, even if it falls miserably on its face. They reskin units, they have a animated moving statue that doesn't do anything but just sit there, even when it's taking damage and it dies. Still does that same pose. Units spawn from portals, you have like a little mini 3 castle pillar thing. And it looks like miners in this spawn, or they mine like mana instead of gold. And yeah, that's about it from the campaign. So what I did was, I beat level 3 and then I checked out the Endless Deads mode, which is weird because I clicked on tournament. I clicked on the tournament thing, expecting to go to the tournament mode, and it was Endless Deads instead. You'll see what I'm talking about. So here it is, the tournament. I thought I was entering a tournament. I go to new game, click yes, and it takes me right to Endless Deads, which it confused the hell out of me, but I was like, okay, whatever. Now this one's kind of hilarious because, I originally thought that they didn't take skins from or assets from other games to use in theirs, but as you can see, it's pretty obvious they did. These deads, they kind of look familiar, at least in terms of like the head and the body. Kind of looks like they took assets from Plants vs. Zombies from this, which I don't even play that game, but I would recognize pretty much anything from that game for the amount of times I've seen it. So I would know for a fact that this is from they've taken assets from Plants vs. Zombies and threw it into this to represent their deads. Other than that, I mean, these Endless Deads come from a previous version of Legacy where the normal deads leap at you and you can one-shot them with the user-controlled archer. That's literally it. And then here you go. I'm showing you what the toxic deads look like too. They have these weird skulls on their heads, which I don't know if those are from Plants vs. Zombies or not. I've never seen it before. Maybe they are, but if you recognize them, tell me about it. I'm trying to get to the last game here to hurry up because I am hungry after spending 2 hours playing these ripoffs and I want to just drop. Alright, we're giving this a D tier. Like I said, it really isn't all that. The deads are weird, and that's literally about it. I have nothing else to say about it. And the last game, but certainly not the least, to close it off, we have Stickman War Battle World by Extreme Game. This game. Oh my god, this game. So, I did check out the campaign because when I checked this out, I was at my wit's end. So I was like, okay, whatever, I'll freaking, skip the campaign, check out the tournament mode instead. This game pissed me off so bad because I swear to God, every 5 freaking seconds, I had a stupid pop-up asking me if I wanted shit. And you're going to see it throughout this. I have the playback speed increased in this video because I spent 19 to 20 minutes playing this game through the tournament mode. And I was so sick and tired of it. You're seeing this continuously pop up. In the main menu, in the armory preview, it was asking me if I wanted gems. And in this case, it's asking me, do I want gold coins? It would not stop asking me that. I was losing my freaking mind playing this. And the reason why I didn't hit obtain and just say, you know what, screw it, let me do it, because it would obviously throw an ad in my face. And I cannot afford ads because the ad causes lag that can crash my recording software. So I did not want to take the risk. So I had to sit through this. I had to deal with it. I had to sit there and had to deal with it. I had to let this thing pop up every 5 to 10 seconds asking if I wanted coins, even though I wanted so badly to scream at it and say fuck off. I could not do it. I had to deal with it. Even when I was trying to micro, because it was actually kind of difficult microing units in this because of the weird setup of the joystick, it kind of made it a little bit impossible to cheese units. Magi Kill also shoot fireballs in this game, which will travel and hit a target. It still affects 3 targets. So I wasn't doing good here. I was able to stack up a decent archer count to kill the giant and force back the rest of these units. And cheesing giants actually turned out to be a lot harder than I'm used to. Because for one, you can obviously see that the giants don't actually carry a corpse with them. They carry a chain and a spiked ball. And when they swing that spiked ball, the animation starts off slow, but then the spiked ball just slams into the ground really, really fast. And that actually made it a little bit harder for me to cheese giants in the next game that I played, which was against Zane on Super Deathmatch, which I actually ended up, never mind, it's been classic. I was wrong. I skipped past the part where I played against Vince. So this was Deathmatch against Zane, which I ended up losing. Which, normally is an absolute travesty because you can literally just breathe on these AI opponents and they would just die. They would die. They're not hard to play against at all. But it's because of the difficulty to cheese his first 3 starting giants that made this difficult. On top of the fact that this thing kept spamming me asking if I wanted gold coins, which I obviously did not, but I had no way to get rid of it. It was impossible. You could not get rid of that stupid thing popping up asking me,
do you want gold coins? Do you want gold coins?
No, I don't want gold coins. Like, piss off. I thought that even after me post-commentating this miserable experience, that I would have gotten over it. And it's clear that I didn't get over it, especially considering I am hungry and I'm putting off eating to try and get these voiceovers recorded so I can get the video edited because I'm spending way too much time on this crap. So here I am. I'm trying to cheese these giants to get the spear throw damage from behind, and it ain't working out because of how quickly the giants attack, at least in terms of their ball chain swinging animation. It was really fast. It was impossible to cheese them. So on top of that, it seems like the user control AI, it actually feels a lot smarter for them because he used to control this giant and sent it right at my archer instead of attacking my giant, which turned out to be surprising. And then, there's no surprise here that Archidon Rain kills my units. It's always been a bullshit spell. So there's no surprises there. So I get a Spirit to try and cheese and get a Spirit Throw to take him out. And it hits something else instead. It hits his Spiriton. So he's in my base right now. And I'm completely helpless to stop this. I can't cheese anything here. Whatever I try to cheese in Spirit Throw, the spear ends up hitting something else. It hit a Magi Kill minion that time. So this low health giant is getting all this mileage. And I'm like, okay, frick it. Let me just use the control on the archer to kill it, right? Yep, I do that. But at that point, it's too late because he's in my base. I'm forced to garrison my units. Could get the giant in front of the statue in time. I ended up losing. Luckily, I was able to get enough gems to, keep going. I didn't have to just give up and stop playing. So I kept going. And so this time I took a different approach. Instead of trying to go for the spear throw from behind damage because it's kind of almost impossible, I decided instead, you know what? Let's just go for spear throws from the front because it is extra damage at the end of the day. And I was able to somewhat cheese the AI here, where he basically tried to just prevent me from, what was I saying? I was basically able to cheese the AI where he kept trying to get a far enough distance to attack me from the front, and I just kept my distance to keep hitting him from behind. I'm losing my mind here. I'm actually just deteriorating rapidly in terms of my mental health, so I'm trying to just hurry up and get through this crap. This run worked out in my favor. I was able to get a damage from behind, killing this giant, and hitting these two giants here. He was controlling one of them, so he does end up killing my giant, but I get enough damage on his giants to kill them. And get rid of the giant threat, which was actually pretty damn big here. So I controlled an archer, took out both the giants, and from here, it was pretty simple because using control archer damage on tanks is still the full damage, it's not half the damage, like in modern day Legacy. So, yeah, I would probably say that's about it with this. This was probably the worst rip-up I played because of the consistent game asking me if I wanted crap when I didn't, and I had no way to stop it. But what I will say is the tournament mode was slightly more challenging, just slightly. But even that is a W over the original game's tournament mode, which is an absolute joke. Now don't think that because of what I just said right there that I'm going to give this game a good rating. Oh no. Because this persistent piece of crap was just making my experience such hell by continuously throwing those pop-ups at me, asking me if I wanted more of those stupid gold coins in exchange for watching an ad. I am giving this thing an F. Mega F. Turbo F. This thing is shit. It's garbage. And I'm sure you guys noticed the unit heads where they were not only small, but weren't even properly sitting on the bodies correctly, so their heads are kind of just levitating. What a way to screw things up even more. But yeah, there's the rip-off tier list for these 8 games. And I know for a fact that I did not get every last rip-off on the Play Store. But if you think I am going to do that, you have another thing coming. No. Unless someone paid me a gazillion dollars to play through all these rip-offs. And real money, by the way, not fake. Pay me that much money and sure, I'll play every Stickman Legacy rip-off in existence. But, the chances of me getting a gazillion dollars is, kind of next to none. So, these 8 rip-offs is as far as I'm going to go in terms of making a damn tier list. So, yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this because I did not. I had no fun making this video whatsoever. So, please watch it, like it. I normally don't say that, but please just do it. So, at least some of my suffering will be worthwhile, and I'll be crying in a corner while you're doing that. So yeah, see ya.